simple as this. This is where you have a seller that's interviewing multiple agents. I think even having this thing prepared, I can't imagine your off the street agent is going through even the title and settlement charges.
Right.
So even say these things exist, did you know these fees exist?
Right.
And by the way, here's the breakdown form. I think even just that is an incredible eye opener for sellers and helping them make a decision who's going to be the agent for revenue.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, you can, part of that too is maybe you don't want to bring like, hey, this is the sales price, because maybe you might need to have some wiggle room in how you're selling, what the sales price is going to be. But you could, these fees are based off of sales price, right? And so of ranges of sales price. So this could be 400 to 600K, and you'll have to play with the system. So you can go in there and maybe an idea would be, let's say this particular unit is worth $500,000 and you think it's going to sell for $500,000. You could print fees like this for a 600K sales price. And you could say, hey, you know, we have a range of fees and it's based on sales price. And if we go up to 600, which let's say that's well out of the realm of possibility, this is the most that you can expect to pay in settlement fees, right? And so you're setting that expectation, but you're not undercutting what you think the sales price is going to be, because they're going to say, a seller's going to say, well, hey, Century 21 said I'm going to sell for 550. You're saying 500. So it gives you some wiggle room. So you're not committing to a sales price at that point in time. So yeah, that's a good point. And then you don't have to put, like, if you don't know what the mortgage payoff is. So we were talking about a system that you guys have, and it's in here, and it's called Remine.
And it's funny, so, and I was listening to you earlier, we call it Remine, but it's probably Remine.
Oh, okay. So Remine. Yes, it probably is Remine. So yeah, this system, you can look in there and it gives you an estimate of what it thinks the seller owes on the home. And so if you're just kind of guessing and not really knowing, you can at least pull that number, and you can do this net sheet without putting a mortgage balance in there. You can bring it with you, or you can at least have that, you know, an idea of what they're going to clear. And then, you know, if they say, hey, I owe 250, you know, you could even say, hey, we have a system and I pulled it up and it says you might owe 250. Is that right? Well, wow, yeah, that is right. I owe 250. You're a Johnny on the spot. Or they could say, no, I owe 350 because I got a second. And then you can just manually make the adjustment right there. Again, individual selling styles. Me personally, I like to have all the numbers in front of me. So it's definitely something of value. And again, I mean, I've been talking for 15 minutes, and it took us 5 to 7 minutes to make this net sheet. So that's one. You can email it. You can download it, print it, send it to the client.
So for agents that have clients that you already took on the listing, right? This is what happened with that house we're talking about in the mortgage. We made a couple little price adjustments with the seller, not to the market, but we were thinking about accepting. So in helping your seller understand what their true net is, if they accept this offer that's coming in under ask, it's an incredible tool. Because it takes you, like you just mentioned, 5 minutes. Since it's already saved, go back into that seller's net sheet, make the adjustments to the sales price, make any tweaks that you're making to commissions and credits or expenses, and you can spit them out a document that's going to make them feel a lot more comfortable than, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I think you should be around somewhere 350 to 320 when we sell at this price. So great tool. I had to do it 4 times for this lady, and every time I put it in her hand, I got no rebuttal. She read through it, okay, no problem, let's move forward.
Yeah, and I mean, too, it's like a one-shot deal where you're going to explain each individual fee one time, and then anything moving forward, they aren't even going to question it, right? Okay, cool. So I downloaded it. This is what it looks like downloaded. So, you know, it's a little bit cleaner, something that you can present to them directly with the net at the bottom. It'll have your face in there. You can get an account with New World Title if you don't have one now. Super simple. They'll get you logins and you can make all this stuff, and it's branded to you. We're a mortgage professional in there. Okay, so that's that. Now, if we come, let me see if I can edit a single net sheet or do a sell to, okay. So let's sell to a net. Let's see what that looks like. So net proceeds goal. So this client wants to net, let's just say $500,000 because they want to buy this other property and they need $500,000 so that their payment can be at a specific point. That's an example, right? Or, hey, you know, I've got some other stuff outside of real estate and I need $500,000 to pay for something. So it's somebody that knows what they're going to need. So let's do 5701 Collins again. We'll do purchase with financing, close date, it doesn't matter. Title policy stuff we already went through. There's no reissuance. We'll do Miami-Dade, Broward County provision. Mortgage payoffs, I'll just use 250. I'm just kind of pulling stuff. Brokers commissions. Again, we'll do 3%. And you 33%, that would be nice. With this commissions too, you can do just a flat fee dollar amount. So if you've got an agreement where it's like, hey, you know, on the listing side, we're going to charge you 20 grand a flat fee. You can put that in there. You don't have to do a percentage if you don't want to. Transaction fee, we'll do 395. And homeowners dues, it doesn't matter. We'll just put some stuff in so you can see what this looks like. I think the property taxes were about, I think 7,600. And then let's say no seller expenses or credits. So in order to get this person that $500,000 that they wanted, it's telling you what your recommended sales price has to be. So 800K. Again, this is a really good thing to do. You know, if you wanted to do it with them and show them where all the numbers are coming from and work it out on screen. So how much do you need to net? You know, I need to net 500. Well, here, so based on all the fees, commissions, etc., we'd have to sell for 807. So let's look at some, you know, comps and figure out what the value of the property is. If it comps at 700K, you probably want to set that expectation. And again, you know, that's your style. Maybe you don't want to do that individually, but personally, I wouldn't want to waste my time if they had to net $500,000 and we're 100K off in actual value. You know, right. It's something that you want to cover. So this is really cool because it's a very realistic idea of where they need to be at to net how much it is that they say they want to net.
I'll give you a use case. So for those that are farming for sale by owner listings, right?
Right.
So that follow-up conversation, they're at least open to talking to you. You
right.
know what? I don't want to deal with a realtor because I know that I'm going to walk out of this place and I want to make 500 grand.
Right.
You guys are charging a bunch of commissions, all this marketing stuff. I don't want to deal with any of that. Somebody's going to buy it at this price and I'm going to walk away with $500,000. This is what I'm looking to do. Okay, well, what are you looking to net? If they haven't expressed that, what do they do? Let's build it up and figure out what you need to be priced at. Another great follow-up conversation with a FSBO, if they know they need to net 500 and they've got the property open to sell for less than 807. Well, by the way, this may not work out the way that you think it's going to work out. Obviously, commissions play into that, right?
Right.
But it is also a good way to back into a potential listing.
Right.
For sale by owner. Right.
Yeah, it's a great tool to use with FSBOs. You know, just kind of the whole question thing, like what you're bringing up. I mean, you know, for us in the mortgage side, really everybody in this industry, you're using probing questions constantly to try and sell to a goal, right? So we want to figure out what the goals are on the loan side. I could speak to that particularly, like, hey, what is your goal? Is your goal just saving money? Is it saving interest over the term of the loan? Is it whatever their goal is? Number one, it gets them to talk about themselves, right? And now you can work on stuff that maybe you might have in common with them, just simple, bottom line, basic sales stuff. But the more questions you ask, the easier it's going to be for you to hone in and hit what that need is. The consultative selling approach on the loan side is very valuable. Again, everybody has their own style. But yeah, if you can ask questions, you know, how much do you need to net? Why haven't you gotten in contract yet? All those things. So you can use this as a tool. So this would be the selling to a net sheet. Again, very simple. It's all, you know, the New World title system is super clean and easy to use. And so it doesn't take much time. So this is multiple offers. And I'll be relatively quick with this and let you all get on your way and or answer any questions. So the payoffs are going to be the same, right? Regardless of the offer that's received. The homeowner's dues, the taxes, all that stuff is going to be the same. So whatever, we'll just put in a few things here. What's that?
Pretty exclusive community, but go ahead.
So here's the first offer. So remember that this is important because different offers are going to have different closing dates, which is going to affect prorations, right? So if it's a later closing date, your client is going to have more prorations in property tax. They're going to pay more mortgage interest on their current loan, HOA dues, etc. So if there's similar offers, price wise and other terms wise, then a closing date might make the difference. So let's say this one is January 31st. It's John Doe, and the offer amount is whatever, 500K. Conventional loan, so cash offer. These are all cool things to show them. So let's say that this client is asking for a concession of 10K because they want the buy down with True Blue Lending, and the real estate commissions are still going to be the same, and we'll say 395, right? And then we're going to add another offer. So let's just do 2 offers. So let's say this close date is whatever, the 2nd. We'll just use that. And this is Jane Doe, and this offer amount is 515. So a similar offer, say conventional loan, no problem. And we'll add an expense of a seller paid home warranty of 550. And we'll add the commissions, and then I'll show you what the difference would be. Because it's pretty cool when they have the 2 offers. Hopefully you're getting multiple offers, you price it right and all that good stuff. Hit the calculate button, and let's download it. So here it's got both nets. So again, you can do multiple offers. So this guy that came in at 500K with 10K seller concessions, your seller's netting out 333. This client that's at 515, I think I didn't put something in here that.
Well, but there's still something unique to point out, right?
Oh, it was the property tax I think I missed. Yeah.
Well, I'll say the difference in offer price is 15K, right?
Right. 15K, 10K less. So this,
yeah.
I had a bad input in here, but you get the idea. So as long as you're inputting the information from the offers correctly, it shows you when the close date is.
But just
on
to
this,
express your point here,
yeah.
So like, even with the bad input, right? You got another
Yep.
$1,000 or a little less than 1,000 that we didn't put in for property tax.
Right.
The difference in the offer was 15K.
Right.
The seller's actually netting an additional almost $25,000
right.
because of the moving and the closing date.
Right.
And yes, obviously the increase in the offer price.
Exactly.
So it isn't
yeah.
as simple as just saying, oh, you got an offer at 500, you got an offer at 515.
Right.
Yeah, take the 515, make another 50 grand. Oh,
yeah.
Make a whole lot more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got the prorations. That's a big deal because you're paying 1 month less of homeowners association, 1 month less of taxes, insurance, all that stuff. Your payoff's going to be less. So this is kind of what you were just saying, what Frank was just saying is this is also a really good tool because you don't have to be perfect on your numbers manually calculating everything. The system picks it up for you, right? So you're just plugging, as long as you input the information right, unlike I did, it's going to push out stuff. So it'll help you because maybe you might forget that, oh, shoot, I've got property tax. I forgot to prorate. The system automatically does all that stuff for you. And again, like this is, I mean, it takes you no time. It's not like it takes you a bunch of extra time, but personally, the way that this is presented to me, it's super clean. I would receive this really well as a seller just because you're telling me everything up front. You're showing me all the costs, who gets the cost, where they go to, what the difference is in closing date. It's not something you have to manually do yourselves. So again, it's super valuable. It's super simple. It's free. It takes you not much time, yet it elevates your business and your brand. In my opinion, it elevates you from somebody that's not coming in with this or is just scratching stuff out on a piece of paper. And then you leave it with them and they've got all your contact info with your comp package or whatever it is else that you do on a listing presentation. And it helps you out. So that's that. Pretty simple. Like I said, I appreciate your guys' time. We didn't use more than, 20, 30 minutes. Does anybody have any questions or maybe not even questions, but like, if you need access to this system, yeah, hook up with Frank. He'll get you the stuff. We can get you logins with New World if you don't have any, which you should, hopefully, and you can upload your picture and all that stuff. Yeah, what's up, Kirby?
So one of the main difference between these 2 offers was that the seller concession fee.
Yeah, so that's one. So Kirby's asking what the main difference is. So here, let me,
Well, it's $1,000 difference if that, or 1,000 change for the tax issue.
yeah, so let's see, there's the 10K, so so the main difference is price. So yeah, you've got a 500K price here, 515 here, but this guy is asking for 10K in seller concessions for closing costs, plus he's closing at the end of the month in January, which means that the seller is going to be paying 1 month more of property tax, 1 month more of homeowners, 1 month more of HOA, 1 month more of interest on their loan, right? So those expenses add up. So it's the day of the month, which, I mean, honestly too, like if you look at this from an offering perspective, when you're out making offers on homes, if you've got a listing agent that's doing something similar and you're a multiple offer situation, it's good to think about what day of the month you're going to close. Right? Like, hey, maybe we can, because we can do stuff in 2 to 3 weeks. So the sooner you close, the less prorations that the seller is going to have. Now it's going to be, you know, hundreds of dollars or maybe $1,000, but someone who needs to close 60 days from now compared to 21 days from now, you can offer less than that 60-day close because they're going to net more. So it's something to consider when presenting an offer as well.
Yeah, a common question that comes up a lot is, Frank, I got a potential seller, like I have an appointment with them, I don't know what to talk about. I know I'm gonna talk about my marketing, and I'm gonna talk about how I do a good job, and I'm gonna talk about I work with a great office. Again, another differentiating factor here, right?
Right.
Because if you can walk in there with the comps and create a best case scenario, look, I feel confident I can get your house sold in 30 days. Here's what the comps are telling me to price at. And with the information that I was able to find online, I'm sorry, because it may be incorrect, and I'll let you, but let's just work with this. Here's what I can have happen for you. Money can have in your hand in the next 30 to 45 days. How does that make you feel? Right. I mean, it's a lot more powerful than just like, hey, look at these pictures, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Right. So very, very useful tool, and you can run multiple sheets of these for a potential seller. So
right, yeah, you can do all sorts of different price points, right? Like, hey, maybe we get lucky and we get multiple offers, and you're going to come in 20K higher than what comps are saying. Yeah, this is an aiming point. So yeah, it just makes you look professional. You know your craft, right? So like, be an expert in your field. An expert has all of this at their disposal, at the ready. They can provide this to sellers. I mean, you are fully prepared, is what it shows me if I'm a seller and I have you in talking to me. Again, everybody has their own style. I like this kind of stuff. And so hopefully you can utilize this. If it's not bringing it with you, at least you have it in the back of your mind. And again, just all the resources that Julie has, the things that they provide you guys, the tools that you have to close deals on the buy side, on the sell side. Take advantage of everything that you possibly can, because these small differences, they make a difference right now. So it's a tight market out there. So
we'll do this video on the same.
Yeah, so I screwed up and started recording late, but I got the sell to a net and the multiple. Yeah, and so yeah, we've got most of it in there, and we'll upload this in the the Google Drive as well. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks, Jackie, Nancy, Mary, Leslie. Appreciate you guys being in here, and then you guys in the office. Email me if you need anything. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
I think you just.
Yeah, of course, man. Yep.